Maybe instead of trying to adapt by destroying essential structure of American society, wouldn't it be better to look at the time when we still had a successful economy, back, say, 1966, and find out what we'd done in the past 30 years which lessened the percentile of the labor force which had skilled industrial employment, which destroyed the literacy of high school and university graduates, where a university graduate today is less literate than a typical high school graduate 30 years ago. And maybe instead of coming up with all these gimmicks to plow more money into Wall Street and some of these other things, maybe we should balance the budget by increasing the tax revenue base by investing in industry and agriculture and modern technology, the kinds of things we used to do that made us successful, rather than investing in gambling in a speculative derivatives market which is about to blow up. I think that's the key question, however you formulate it. And dealing with a Republican, you can only shame them. I mean, what are you going to say to them? Didn't you think that this used to be a great country? Don't you think the party of Lincoln ought to stick to the principles of Lincoln? Don't you think we ought to be an agro-industrial power and invest in infrastructure the way Lincoln did? Lincoln made a revolution in defeating these crazy Confederate agrarian goons in building a great nation, despite the fact the British shot him because he was doing too well. Maybe it's better to go that way. Maybe the route from Lincoln through McKinley was a better way, when the Republicans were still Republicans before they became Confederates. Maybe it's better to go that way. Maybe we were a better nation under Roosevelt. We were in a depression in the 1930s. I sort of recall that Mr. Coolidge and Mr. Hoover had something to do with that depression. And I recall that Mr. Roosevelt let us out of it. And I recall that despite all the bad things that were said about Roosevelt, that economy continued to prosper relatively until about 1966, when it began to make changes, funny ways of thinking that we never did before. The economy went downhill, and the tax revenue base collapsed. Maybe we should go back to what we were doing before, instead of trying all these funny gimmicks, instead of starving and poisoning and gagging people to get their money. Maybe we should go back and earn some money again. Not
Okay, I declare this open conference closed. Those at the business meeting will arrive here before 11 o'clock tomorrow. Thank you all very much.